What's good, anybody out there? This is your old friend, the Crimson Stain, and I've got an unboxing video for you today. I've got some comic books that I bought from Impulse Creations. They came in the mail today, and it's a really cool online shop. Everything you buy already comes bagged and boarded, and in good condition. Let's run through what I've got here. Just as a disclaimer, when I watch these unboxing and comic book haul videos, people were always getting really cool, like Bronze Age, Copper Age, key issues, key covers, very interesting things. This is not necessarily going to be that. This is just mostly current stuff that I've picked up and that I think is interesting. So, with that in mind, let's see what we've got. Here's the first issue of Cobra Commander. Been a lot of G.I. Joe stuff being released recently. This is the first thing I've picked up to read, see what it's all about. And, huge 80s cartoon person. These G.I. Joe comic books had a little bit more substance to them back in the day. We'll see how these go. I don't really know what people are saying about it, plus or minus, but it's Cobra Commander, so it's worth checking out. Next up, I've got a pair of Creep Shows. I've been collecting this current run. I've got all 5 now. There's issue 4 and issue 5. And these are pretty cool. Something to look forward to collect. Awesome covers. The stories are hit or miss, as anthologies tend to be, but some of them have been pretty outlandish, and some of them have been pretty interesting, so I like them. Uh, it's a fool's errand to expect them to match up to the nostalgic movies that we love. These aren't really even making a pretense of trying to uh, live up to that era. They're not really tributes to Stephen King or EC Comics. But for current day stuff, I guess they're all right. That that's about as good of endorsement as I can give these things these days. So those were those. Next up, here's Dracula, issue 3. I liked this series so far. It's the Universal Monsters. They're going to keep going. I don't know what's next. It might be Creature from the Black Lagoon is next. I don't know. I'm the worst at comic book news and comic book history and statistics and things. I never know when things are coming out or what's good or not. So it's a lot easier to be a horror fan than it is to keep up with all the comic book stuff. That's what I'm learning here. So, ugh. But it's fun nonetheless. And the series has been pretty good. It looks a lot like the Department of Truth art-wise, adapted for this more gothic story. And it's been very good. It's been very Renfield heavy, and it more or less follows the Universal version of Dracula with that, you know, that kind of abstract, crazy art style. And I've really enjoyed it. So this is the 4th issue, the final one to wrap it up for old Dracula. So I like it. I liked it so far. We'll see how the second half is. Next up, this is Tenement number 7, the B cover. I've been reading Tenement up to now, and it's been pretty good. I wanted to see what a modern horror comic book is like, and this one is pretty interesting. Some of the issues are more horror focused and have really cool artwork. Some are more story focused on these group of characters and their strange adventure. It's again, what can I say, for modern day stuff? I like it. And this is issue 8. These are both B covers. I just like the B covers for these, so I thought they were a little more appealing to me, so that's why I got those. Now, we're going to talk about nostalgia here. Here's issue 2 of Basic Instinct. I read the first one. It was a little bit more abstract. I wonder where this thing's going to go, per se, but at least there's a murder and mayhem afoot so far. We'll see. Like I say, we just have to see where these go. I don't really know these authors, so I'm just kind of checking things out. And of course, just to have the covers is cool, because I really loved Basic Instinct. This is the V cover to issue 2. Couldn't decide between the two, believe it or not, so I just decided to get them both. And in that vein, they're also doing an American Psycho series. And this one's kind of doing its own thing, this Basic Instinct, but I think American Psycho is really enjoyable to read if you're a fan already, because it's basically retelling the story of Pat Bateman, but through the eyes of a different character and with a big twist that I think is quite enjoyable. There's also like a modern B story, which I I don't even really remember much about that, but it's like the modern day. It's set in modern day, and so this is issue. I think this has got to be issue 2, and this is they do the alternate covers with the business cards. So tasteful, so elegant. Yeah, had to get this one because it was just there up for grabs. So had to get the Paul Allen. All right, up next we've got Tarna #1. This is a second printing, and I don't know anything about it other than obviously it's a character from Heavy Metal magazine, so it's got to be cool on some level. I wanted to check it out, and it's a great cover. I really like the Frank Frazetta stuff of Dawn Attack and Fire and Ice. It's been coming out recently, so I have high hopes for this one. It's in that kind of same wheelhouse of science fiction fantasy. And so this next one, a little more controversial perhaps. This is Wonder Woman 4, and this is the Tom King run where we've got the storyline about the Amazons being kicked out of the country and their stunning and brave resistance to that. And I learned about this run from videos from your boy Zach and Thinking Critical. They review these issues with quite a passion, I would say. It's very cool and very entertaining to listen to them, but it had the opposite effect on me. It made me want to read this series even more, just because of this intriguing character of Tom King. I don't know much about him, but they say he's ex-military. He's an intelligence guy, and so I just wanted to see what they were openly injecting into pop culture and what kind of toxic mimics they were going to make out of these heroes. Propaganda can either be done well or bad, regardless of the message they're trying to get out. So it's just kind of an interesting little curiosity here. And I would say I'm at least enjoying reading it for what it's worth. And next up, we've got the fun stuff here. This is from the 90s, unmistakably 90s perhaps. Punisher 2099 #7 and #8 here. And this was a series, I was a huge Punisher fan when I was a kid. I was one of the most basic kid 90s comic book readers you'll ever find. I loved Punisher, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider, and of course Spider-Man. Those were my big four. But I think I was already out of comic books by the time this started coming out. Looks like this is from like 93. I was, I think, into sports cards by then. But this series, I read the first issue and thought it was quite entertaining, quite a fun little update about this dystopian world and the next Punisher's role in it. Good satire, I thought too. So I have now that I have issues 7 and 8, I have all the issue. I have the whole run up to issue 13, so I can just plow through that. Hopefully, keeps up its momentum, and maybe I'll get into some of the other 2099 stuff. We'll see about that. Okay, and my last two. This is the Wolverine limited edition facsimile #1. I love facsimile editions. I just love them. They're so much fun. I love looking at all the old ads and everything. And this one in particular, it looks so much better. And in person, these colors are so much deeper and richer than what you see online. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see how well this one turned out. And I've already read the graphic novel of all 4 of these issues. And what can you say? It's really good. Really good Frank Miller and Wolverine stuff. And then my last one here, this is Werewolf by Night 33 reprint. And I don't know much about this. I haven't read too many of this era of comic books, which of course is legendary and really good. So I'm interested to get into this 70s stuff as well. And I do like Moon Knight, so we'll see. All I can say is I've never not been highly entertained by these facsimiles. So there you have it. So that was my comic book haul. I have no idea if I'm doing comic books right, but I know I'm enjoying it, so there you have it. I've got plenty of other comic books to talk about, so maybe I'll do another one real soon, or maybe never again. We'll see how this one turns out. So I'll check you out next time.